Yes, guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel for your Chelsea versus Fulham Saturday early kickoff match preview here on GBFC. I know that today is all about transfers. It's all about what has happened with Xavi Simons moving to Tottenham Hotspur. And from the time that I made the video that you guys probably saw this morning, at around 7 a.m. UK time, Xavi Simons is a here we go to Tottenham Hotspur. We have managed to miss out on the player. And considering what we've heard from Enzo Maresca around team news for this game against Fulham, with Cole Palmer being currently seen as like a day by day, we're going to deal with this when we can kind of thing, I'm a bit worried about this, and I think maybe Chelsea probably needed a Xavi Simons if we're going to be without Cole Palmer for some time. Don't want to be too eccentric about this. It might just be that Palmer needs to be rested for this one and he's back after the internationals. But there's still no Romeo Lavia, of course. There's no Benoit Badiashile also, and Cole Palmer out too. Other than that, it's a clean bill of health for Chelsea Football Club. If I'd have said 10 players on that list, I'd have still been like, but it's a clean bill of health for everyone else. But Chelsea and Fulham, last season, Fulham came to Stamford Bridge and they managed to get a result. They beat us at the Bridge for the first time in 40 odd years? So we have got to make sure that we treat this like the London derby that it is. Fulham's just down the road. As much as it might not be the same level of an Arsenal, a Spurs, a Man United, a Liverpool, this is a game Chelsea absolutely need to be winning to get our first win of the season at Stamford Bridge. After the Crystal Palace result on match week number 1, I was at that game and it was probably one of the most tepid affairs that I can remember watching at Stamford Bridge in recent memory. Crystal Palace were very organised. I think against Fulham, we might see them be a lot more expressive. They've got some players that can hurt us. I like the left side of Fulham's team. I think Robinson and Iwobi are a really good combination for Fulham down that left. Fulham's start to the season as well, not too bad. 2 draws, a late equaliser away at Brighton on the opening day, which is always a difficult place to go with the quality and depth of that Brighton squad and it being early doors. And then last week against Manchester United, well, Man United, they got beat on penalties by Grimsby. So they're a joke of a football team, joke of a football club, and Fulham got a draw against them. So it's not really tearing up the floor, but it's also not a bad result. They're unbeaten. They got 2 points. Chelsea have 4. Speaking of Chelsea, let's go and throw that Megastore code up on the screen for you guys. If you do want to get anything from the Chelsea Megastore this season, make sure you use the QR code on the screen or the link in the description. And the discount code is GBFC10. I also want to say thank you to those of you that have been ordering using the code, because a lot of you have been ordering the third kit, which is amazing. I absolutely love that kit, and I hope that mine arrives to Dubai very soon. So let's talk a little bit more about this Chelsea team, because obviously right now, at the time of me posting this video for you lot, it's an early kickoff tomorrow, but all of the talk right now, Chelsea fans are not happy. And I can understand this, whether or not it's about how we've treated Xavi Simons and told him all summer that, yeah, we're going to sign him, and if Nkunku leaves, we're going to bring you in, mate. Don't worry about it. Xavi Simons said no to Bayern Munich, and unfortunately, he's now got to go to Tottenham Hotspur. But again, this summer, Tottenham have done very well. Thomas Frank is probably the signing of the summer. He's a fantastic manager. And to bring in both Xavi Simons and Kudus into those attacking areas is very good indeed. My concern here for Chelsea, and this is a prime example, right? When we're building Chelsea 11s this season, we're talking about the squad depth, we're talking about the quality. There's no doubt that there's a hell of a lot of quality in this Chelsea side. But when Cole Palmer is injured, who is the attacking talisman, the jewel in the crown, when he's injured, I'm looking at João Pedro, and yes, he's got to drop deeper, which is absolutely fine. Because as we saw last week against West Ham, as much as Liam Delap didn't really have so much of an impact and say on the game with touches, dribbles, or anything else, it was mainly the movement that opened up spaces for other players. Now, if we don't have Cole Palmer, I'm not necessarily concerned that we can't be creative. I think we proved that last week against West Ham. You had Enzo Fernandez arriving into the box. You had Esteval Willian with a fantastic assist on his Premier League first start to get that ball into Enzo Fernandez. And you've also got the work rate, the industry, and the crossing left foot, right foot capabilities of a Pedro Neto. So I'm not necessarily looking at that attack really worried about it. But my concern is if there are more injuries on top of what we've already got after 2 games of the season, with Nicholas Jackson supposedly leaving the club as well to either Bayern Munich or Villa or Newcastle, who knows at this point still. But with him gone, Nkunku leaving as well, no Xavi Simons coming because Chelsea didn't want to sign him apparently come the end of the window when push came to shove and it really mattered. My question is, A, today, are we going to find out that we're actually going for somebody else? Fabrizio's saying that there might be a mystery player. I mean, it's great, isn't it? Like, of course, I think I'd say the same thing if I'd been saying that Xavi Simons is going to Chelsea for the last flipping 6 weeks in a row. There could be a mystery, guys. Don't worry about it. It's like an episode of bloody Scooby-Doo, isn't it? But anyway, Chelsea starting 11 that we will see at home to Fulham tomorrow in the Premier League is this. In goal, we have got none other than Robert Sanchez, who last week against West Ham, because we scored 5 goals, didn't really speak about the fact that he conceded a goal from outside the box. It's an incredible hit from Paquetá, but again, match week number 2, I got some questions. I think Robert Sanchez potentially should have done better, but I'm growing to like Sanchez, all right? And I think it's important that as much as I say at the start of this season, and I've said, look, I'm going to back him. I hope that he can continue that Club World Cup form. I've started to actually like him. When I listen to him in interviews and stuff, I'm like, he's actually a lot more likable than I've given him credit for. So I hope that he doesn't let us down tomorrow. Moving in to a Chelsea back 4 that actually does fill me with a lot of confidence. Reece James at right back, Tosin and Chalobah in the central areas with Marc Cucurella at left back. I think when I look at this team, right, last week against West Ham, we saw Malo Gusto starting Reece James coming off the bench because Enzo Maresca knew that Graham Potter, he didn't have the quality in that West Ham team. They were fortunate enough to score that early goal. But then the problem against Chelsea now is we've got players, even without Cole Palmer on the pitch, that can unlock you. And I think what Malo Gusto brings to this team is not only that overlapping sense on the right-hand side, which would enable someone like Esteval Willian on the right wing to cut in. I just think even when Reece James came on, when he stepped up into that midfield a little bit, he just looks so good. And it's at that point now where I understand Reece James probably can't do that overlapping role as fluidly and quickly as Malo Gusto can. But for me to sit here in a London derby at Stamford Bridge and not pick our captain, I just can't do it. I think Reece has got to start. And Marc Cucurella, of course, stays in the team every single week. Yoel Hato, obviously he's done nothing wrong so far at Chelsea. I think the 2 appearances that we've seen of him, he's looked very bright. But you're not going to be displacing Marc Cucurella anytime soon. Moving in to the Chelsea midfield of Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo. Now, there's been a few talks today coming out that Chelsea might be interested in signing Adam Wharton for Crystal Palace. I don't know how true this is. Maybe this is just a little, we'll throw that one out there. Everyone loves Adam Wharton, don't they? And because we're not getting Xavi Simons, we'll say that we admire Adam Wharton for a while because then we can still be, linked to those top players. It's a little bit sarcastic from me there, but I'm disappointed. I think the club should have gone for Xavi Simons. But these 2 in the midfield, Adam Wharton or no Adam Wharton, this is a brilliant Chelsea midfield. I love both of these 2. Yes, it's a £200 million plus midfield, but Moises Caicedo for me is the best defensive midfielder in world football right now. And Enzo Fernandez, as much as there may need to be a bit more oiling of the engine to start off this season, and he did look a little bit passenger-esque against West Ham, and he certainly looked like he was overran against Crystal Palace. He's not going with Argentina, apparently, on international duty, so that will be fantastic. But again, if it is Andre Santos in there, I absolutely back him to do the job as well. So maybe we rest Enzo for this one. But again, London derby, I think Chelsea need to give and leave everything out there on the field. We move now into my Chelsea attack. Of course, no Cole Palmer. So Esteval Willian on the right, João Pedro in the 10, Pedro Neto on the left, and Liam Delap up front. I really liked the fluidity of this attack on last Friday night against West Ham. Maybe a lot of that could have been down to Malo Gusto's presence on the right-hand side. But I think what we can see here is Reece James step up into that midfield, Enzo Fernandez push further forward, And then we can see those rotations with Enzo being towards that left with Pedro Neto and João Pedro and Estevão Willian moving over together on that right-hand side with Liam Delap again using his body, using his strength to draw players out. And I think that was what was so great about what we saw against West Ham last week when it came to the positions that Liam Delap was operating in. What Delap managed to do was be in the spaces to draw West Ham defenders out so that people could make those runs in and around the centre. Estevão Willian cutting inside, João Pedro getting into those half spaces to put those crosses in, and he got assists that way. So I think when I think about this game, right, Chelsea, we're at a point right now where the fan base today, there's a lot of disappointment. And trust me, I'm trying to focus on the Fulham game here because as much as we love transfers, as much as we love everything about what signing a new player makes us feel like and that excitement of thinking like, well, how's he going to fit in? Where's he going to play? And all of that stuff. There's still football to be played. There's still matches to be won here. And we can temporarily, once again, go back to the top of the Premier League table. And look, it probably won't last till the end of the weekend. Arsenal, Liverpool, I think they're playing each other this weekend, aren't they? So Chelsea need to get points on the board. Last season, we had a good start, not a great start, then we fell away. If we're going to prepare ourselves to be in it for the long run this season, there's no excuses here. I'm talking about us trying to compete to win the Premier League this season. That's what I want to see. That's what I'm expecting. So we've got to go out there and beat this Fulham side. Do I think we're going to do that? Yes, I do. Have I been that impressed with Fulham from what I've seen in the opening 2 weekends of the season? Nothing special. I don't think they've had the most incredible transfer window either. I think they've got a very good manager. Slightly concerned that they did win at the Bridge last season, but that was pretty much as we were about to slide, flipping down a ski slope into that dreadful run of form. But I think Chelsea, I think we're going to get the win. I don't think it's going to be straightforward. I'm going to say Chelsea 2, Fulham 1 this weekend. Chelsea to temporarily go back to the top of the Premier League. That's my starting 11. No Jamie Gittins in there again. I just think at the moment, Estevão's too good to keep out the team and Neto as well. I think Gittins very raw. I think he can certainly hurt teams coming off the bench too. So that's my starting 11. Let me know yours and any queries, concerns about the game tomorrow in the comments down below. And as I said at the start of this video, stay tuned to GBFC because there will be another news video coming out later on this evening. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Come on, you Blues.